Well, once again, we're dealing with the bike. There's a slow leak in this tube. I checked the valve stem. Valve stem's fine. Put it in tight, pumped it up. In about 2 hours it was flat. So that means I went through the rigmarole of getting the back tire off again. Now we're going to pump up the tube, see if we can find out where it's leaking. And hopefully we'll be able to patch it. Hear a leak anywhere? I can hear a leak. No, I can't. Now I can hear a leak. Found it. So we got a hole here. Looks like it was my fault when I was putting it in. Either it got poked with something, putting the tire on. Come on, focus, you fucker. Either it got poked with something when I was putting a tire on, or there was something left in the tire and tube that wedged into it. So that's an easy patch. So I'll patch that up. I'll let the air out, I'm going to patch that up, and we'll put the thing back together. At least this one was an easy find, and hopefully it'll be an easy fix. Pull that valve stem again. Important tool for anybody that has anything for which you're using tires. That's your valve stem for your Schrader valve. You need something like this. This is a valve stem remover. That's a tire ream on the other end of it right there. That is for abrading the surface inside the hole when you put glue in it and you put a patch on it. But I'm not using that on this because this is just a tube. But doesn't always look like that. I mean, it is an important tool to have for dealing with bikes, especially, but for dealing with anything with tires. Could look like this. So, all the necessary pieces to use. To work on a tire. And this one works as a cap for a valve stem too. So you don't have to lose it ever. You can just leave it on the tire. So you always have it handy. And yeah, these are like $5 at any bike shop or Canadian Tire or Walmart or anywhere. But it's a very important tool to have if you're dealing with something with tires. All right. So how are we going to patch this? We could go the sticker patch. These are just plain circular clear patches. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to go to the hardcore patch. Rubber glue, rubber cement as it's called. and neoprene and rubber layered patches. So that's old one. I would assume the old one would do a better job, but it's a little rougher texture. Use the new one. So find the hole. I knew where it was. Where is it now? There it is. So find the hole. Lay it flat. Take this, braid the area around the hole. Scratch it up a bit. Make sure there's some texture for the glue to bite into. You know it's clean, so that's not a problem. As much as these are sticker patches, and get some rubber cement on there first. Just a drop of it. The fuck? I know it's full. There. That's all that was in there. Whole tube that size, there's one fucking drop in there and the rest of it was air. Alright. So now that's garbage. We take our patch. Make sure it's all clean. Press it in place. Good idea. This is to get something heavy. Luckily, I've got a bunch of dead-ass fucking batteries. You get a clean piece of material, like a piece of paper. Put it on top. And press it down. That'll dry. And put this fucking thing back together. But before I do that, before I reassemble everything, make sure I don't lose any parts. Before I reassemble everything, I'm going to take a good look at this tire and see if there's anything inside there that might cause any more damage. That means taking the tire off all the way and cleaning the rim. Which of course means using these little Z-bars that I got. They're a good thing to have. They're cheap. And they just, can't see how I'm using them, but they just slide along until the tire comes off. Sort of wedge it off, and they're plastic so they don't damage the tube or the tire at all. Let's look inside there. A little bit of dust, but I'm going to clean out all the debris and Windex the inside of the tire. Oh, look at that. Oh, so that's what punctured it. See that? Exact same shape as it. And what's that on the outside? What did I run over? A chunk of wire. So it was no fault of my own. I did not damage it. although I'm always prepared to accept blame when it is rightly placed. That is just a chunk of fucking wire off of the side of the road that I happened to run over. All right. Well, I'm still going to clean the inside of the tire. I'm still going to clean the inside of the rim. And to be honest, that is pretty dirty in there. But I'll clean that out. See how it looks around the valve stem. That's a little bit of a sharp edge around the valve stem. And the last tube we had in there, the original tube that was in there, that valve stem tore out. There's a little bit of a rough edge around there, so I'm going to file that down. Clean the inside of the rim. Clean the inside of the tire. Then we'll put it all together. First, I'm going to read the instructions on this and see how long that shit takes to dry. Okay, I'll bring it back when I'm putting it together. Alright, so we got this rim cleaned out, and I chamfered that edge a little bit. It's nice and soft now. There's no sharp protrusions on it. That just took a little round file. No problem at all. I cleaned the inside of the tire. Clean the inside, clean the rim, the bead. So that'll hold together nice and won't make anything more difficult than it has to be. It's been a couple hours. It should only take 15 minutes for this to dry, but I gave it a couple hours. It should hold really well. What we got to do now is pump it up and test it. So I'll get you sitting where you can see what's going on. See if there's any hissing in there. With any luck at all, this will hold air. I don't hear any hissing. Patch is laying flat. I think we got it. That means we can put this beast back together. You'll notice, instead of pressing and letting the air out, I take this valve stem out every time I want to deflate the tire, or deflate the tube. That has a great deal to do with me being impatient. It also allows more air to come out, which actually makes life easier. Now let's get this tire on. Now that it's cleaned, now that that little piece of wire is out. Hard to believe something that small could cause that much of a problem. But it does. If I can do this without resorting to tools. At least for the first half. There. That's on there. Now where did I leave that hole? Oh. Point of note, if you got a bad back, coughing really hurts if you're standing up. Remember, when you're putting a tube in and it's got a bent valve, make sure the valve is pointing up when you try to put it in. Do what you can to make life easier. You can do it in the other direction, but it makes life more difficult, so I don't suggest it. Come on, you cocksucker, get in there. Went in before. I know you fit there. That's in there. It's in there and sitting where it's roughly supposed to be. I doubt we can get this one in. Oh, maybe we can. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. When the tube's completely deflated like this, it does make it easier. I do have to resort to tools. Doing everything by hand would be nice, but it's not always an option. Or rather, doing everything barehanded, because even with these tools, it's still by hand. There's no power. Let's get it pumped up a little bit. Well, first I got to put the valve stem back in. Let's get it pumped up a little bit, see what happens. You don't want to crank on these too hard, but you want them to sit tight. It's a tiny little thing. You crank on it too hard, just going to break it. Make sure that bead's sitting even. Nine, 10. That's halfway. That I'm sure will hold for a long period of time. Pump it up the rest of the way after getting the bike put back together. You don't want to watch that. I don't want to do that. Something has to be done. As soon as I find the valve stem cap, I'll put that back on and get back to it. I'll show you once it's all back in one piece. And there we go. She's fixed. She's put back together. She's done to the best of my ability. Get this on there too. But she's holding there. She's back on the bike. I have to point out, yet again, changing the back tire or getting that back wheel off on these type of bikes is a pain. One of the biggest pains is in order to undo the wiring, undo the motor from the wiring harness, you got to take the whole seat and bucket underneath it off. It's a pain in the dick. But she's done, she's ready, and now we're on to another project. Once I clean it up and get this back outside and put the batteries back in it, yeah. Just seems as one thing after another with this bike, but that's okay. I mean, it keeps me on my toes, keeps me from having nothing to do. Alright. So, like, share, comment, and subscribe if let's see what else I have to do. Next, got a big project starting, well, first thing tomorrow. So, if you want to see it, you got to come look. Okay, talk to you next time.